Okay, good afternoon, everybody. It says you are live, and time to play pinball. CPI day, so I won't kind of bore everyone with the details, but it was kind of fun. We had the opening, market maker adjustments to the number, and we had the battleground. See? Battleground, 63.90. Like I said. Pivot, oh, we went right down almost to the pivot that was in my note and that was on the TV string that I sent. Went right through the 6,400 inflection point. We had a little bit of back and forth action there. Once we went through, it was just straight up. And we'll look at what happened real quick. But we had like market makers, short calls, long calls here, 64.15. We just knifed through all this, the 65.25. And I'll show you why we knifed through it in a second. But the short version of that was some big buyers came in at 64.40 calls. And big sellers were selling the 55.60 on top, right here in the no way zone. And now let's switch and then we'll play pinball. Let's see who's here. If anybody's here, if I'm not, if I'm talking to myself, that's cool too. But if anybody's here, say hi. And let's go here. Hey, Boomer. So as a recap for the folks that weren't, okay, now we got, all right, here we go. We got a few of my buddies here. For those of you that weren't here in the round, shout out to Market Literate for helping provide the group with some of the intraday flow that we get, so we kind of see it coming before it comes. But hopefully you guys on Twitter can see this. You see these tails here? So those show us where we were and where we are. And if we walk through this, okay, so we had market makers long 6,400 the whole time. And that's been added to, subtracted a little bit, but that's that. I mean, market makers short. So we kind of danced around here. Once we got through here, once these became ITM, it was off to the races in the money. We had something at 64.15, not much. And you see, whatever, it was short. It was market maker long, customer short at the open, so short calls were up there. And we sliced right through that. 35 was the next level where we had something. Where was it? Well, 25, we had a little bit. We sliced through that. And 35, you see here, 35. At one point, there were 2,000 market maker long, customer short calls up here. That was originally going to be where we were supposed to hold. But we had buyers come in here at 30. These flipped from market maker long to market maker short. So all the deltas, everything flipped here. The big, okay. The big thing though was the 64.40. If you can see the tail here, and I hope you can, at one point there was 2,500 customer bought market maker short 64.40, and we were all the way down here near 25 or something. I really didn't think we could eat through the sold calls that we did. When you do the geek gamma math plus real money buying, we ate through it. Which brings us to where we are now. Let's talk about this for a second. And if you're not sure, ask questions in the chat on Twitter or on YouTube. We have this big cluster of sold calls here at 45, 50, and 55. And these have been here all day and been growing. Some of them have shrunk and come down. I'll tell you the reason these came down was there were debit spreads here, 40 and 45, and these got sold. So right now, as we go up, market makers have to sell to flatten out their delta. As we move away from here, they have to buy. But I guess there's just so much gamma up here that we're still staying above this 40 level by a teeny tiny, not by a lot. So the question is, let me just pull up SPX on the other chart here. So we're not supposed to close on 45, certainly not on 50. The 40 is in doubt. The theory tells us that we should close below it right now, but if you see you can see the tails here. Customers were long here, so that pulls us up. Now they're short here, so but we have the short below us, and now that's supportive. So we're stuck in this sea of market maker going against the flow of the move, but the move is going, but it's all around us, so we're engulfed in it. It doesn't happen that often that we're engulfed like that. So now let's take a look over here. So we have a clear idea that we're not going to 50 or 55. We have a clear idea that we're not going to 30. But we have to use some judgment here. We have to use some quantuition. So let's go back to over here. Quantuition is my tagline. So let's look at the numbers. And I'm going to blow this up for a second so you guys can see the numbers a little more clearly. Hopefully you can see the numbers on Twitter. So we're roughly here. As we try to push up through here, market makers have to sell. And as we head toward 40, they have to buy. Hey, my buddy, haven't seen you too much lately. And so the question is, can we get below this 40? Is the real question. And so for that, I'll be taking some pinball ideas. E45, this is acting as quote unquote support. We go down, they have to buy. We go up, they have to sell. And they have to sell from all these. But then as we go down, they have to buy again. Busy with real life. Oh my God. Oh my God, that's horrible. Well, I get busy with real life too. I have to go feed the goats. That's real life. And doing this. See, this is real life for me. I have the luxury of being retired. So I've retired to 12 to 16 hours in front of the computer. But I love it. I'm not complaining at all. I really enjoy what I do. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And I make money, which also doesn't hurt. Yep. So anyway, so here we are. Sometimes we have a clear picture. Today we just kind of don't. We just kind of don't. Now, thrown on top of everything else is, unfortunately, so to speak, let me just want to show you something else real quick. Share screen, entire screen. Is this it? Yeah. So this is one of my dashboards, one of my panels. See this? The advanced decline line of the market. They're buying everything. S&P advanced decline line, way more advances than decliners. And we looked at this before I posted it on Twitter. It's like everything is green. I'm not a macro bro, but we see the dollar is down. Treasury is kind of hanging in here. Ticks been steady buying all day. And if you see the ticks here, although there's been some tick extremes, it's been more just steady buying pressure, steady positive ticks. And so there's real money buying here. Sometimes gamma isn't everything. It's just almost everything. So there's real money coming in here. Whatever the narrative shift, whatever the CTA, hedge funds, whatever the short covering. If you've been following me, you know I've been talking about IWM. I recommended non-investment advice, some trades. I did some myself. I talked about it this morning. You know, whatever. And so now we see, we know IWM is up more than 2%. RSP is up 1.26%. That's an interesting question. Yeah, CTAs now have to buy hedge funds. If you looked at the commitment of traders, let me find it. And I was kind of being dryly sarcastic about all that stuff. If you look at commitment of traders, I don't know if this thing, I don't know where I saw it. This looks like bullshit to me. I saw everyone was talking about how traders are net short, how COT hedge funds were net short. So I'm not going to bother with that. Look around Twitter, you'll see everybody, Bloomberg, everybody's short, everybody's short. They have to cover now. That's all it is. So there's a lot of that stuff going on under the hood. So I think that these are going to go away, these 40s, and that we're going to dip under 40. Just the hunch, just the way it feels. The numbers kind of support it. And to that end, what did I do? I bought this way too early when we were like at 25. Cost me 65 cents and 70 cents now. Were I to do one now, and we could do it on the put side, it doesn't really matter. So I can get one the opposite direction. 45, 40, 35, that's not bad. It's $1.50 though. Where are we? Say now we're 41. Well, this is essentially the same position I have here, so that doesn't make any sense. And I'm not getting enough for what I'm selling here. I'm paying too much for what I'm buying. This is all the way in the money, so that's not great. So that would be your lotto, your under 40 lotto. Because basically this already, so I already have that. So the only other thing would be this, which is $1.60. $1.60. I mean, it's not bad, but anyway. So I'm not sure. I think how the PDT rule will affect. I think in general, it's gonna it's gonna make, let's just say, SPX 0DTE even more. There's people that kind of get knocked out of the game or they can't do trading. There's going to be more trading in individual names. Um, More people are going to come to the party, so there's going to be more liquidity, and that ends up helping the game at the end of the day. See, that's 180 now. Now, I saw something said CTAs are going to have to sell even on an uptake. I'm not so sure about that. I did a little write up on Substack yesterday on systematic versus unsystematic and CTAs and dispersion trades. If anybody's interested, just go to my Substack. You don't have to subscribe. I mean, of course, I'd like you to subscribe and pay, but you can subscribe and not pay, or you can follow. I think that's also a thing. What chart are we looking at right now? You're looking at, let me get rid of that. You're looking at advanced decline line. Thank you for bringing it to my attention because I want to actually share a different screen. Thank you. Okay. So I was looking at, this was a fly I did earlier today. Now it's kind of working out a little bit. And so the question is over or under 40. Now we're under 40. That fly that we just looked at a minute ago, which was this one. See, I like this one better, the one that I'm in. And why over under 40? Okay, this looks like it hasn't refreshed. And we still have 15 minutes. There's a lot of football left. See, the 40 flipped from short to long. See, I told you. I hate to say it like that. It sounds nasty. I told you. Okay, so you see where we are now? I was on um, I was on that screen where I was showing everybody the advanced decline line. All right, so now we have the dynamic. We go up, they sell, we go down, they buy from here. 35 is where the action is, buyers and sellers back and forth. Here is kind of the attractant, buying 40. Now people are long 40 again, so we can go back up to 40 and back up to here. And that's the battle zone. Now, since we're a curious lot and a forward-looking lot, us traders, and we're already looking at the next trade, here's tomorrow. A lot of calls sold, and these 75s customers long, but we know that these are from the SVOL fund. We talked about this ad nauseum. So yes, market makers have to hedge it. They're likely hedged already. Of course, if we keep going up, they'll still have to hedge it. So we have calls sold, so it's not big numbers, but if we close down here, then we have all this stuff supporting us, 6,400. Below here, we have negative market makers short down in the 75 area, 62.75. Well, that's way too far away. And that's kind of what we're walking into. So tomorrow we're walking into this. And if we're somewhere in here, we'll basically be in a sea of market maker providing liquidity. For PPI day, that's 5,000 there. Customers are short 5,000 calls there, it looks like. And Thursday, we also have the NDX roll, the QYLD roll, and we'll talk about that. I still say we close under 40. Do I have any pin strikes? We have 12 minutes left, so a lot can change fast. We know that. I see now something is starting to form here. Friday we have retail sales and we have options expiration. Oh, today we have Cisco. Is that today or tomorrow? I think Cisco is tomorrow. But good point. We have retail sales. Um, we have PPI and unemployment numbers on Thursday, so there's still stuff. See, so if these are in the money, it sends us up. If they are out of the money, it sends us down. Okay, last 10 minutes. Cue up the music, maestro. And so now it's going to really be a lot. It's going to have to do with volume. Okay, so I got a message from the front, 812. That's today. Customer bought 1,300 Lotto, 6440 puts. Looks like 6440, 45 debit spread closing. Someone buying it could be closing something. Closing those shorts. Remember those 6440 shorts? Oh, and I'll get the exact info for you. But I'll be doing something with Boomer Dan on YouTube next Monday evening. Well, I'll just kind of be going over some gamma basics and kind of how you might think about trading, some educational stuff, and I'll also maybe model out some trades where I think we're going. And I like to think that when I explain it, I try and keep it as much on the practical side, not on the overly geeky side. Oh, look at that. What'd they do? Somebody did something. See here, you have to watch everything like a hawk. And this is stuck here. All right, we shouldn't get through this. We should go back to 40. Should not go through 45. Let's put it that way. We have all this. Now, if we change this from positions to gamma, because gamma is strongest, closest to the money and closest to expiration, and you can't get any closer to the money or closer to the expiration than where we are. Now, look at this. You have these two big gamma bars fighting each other for who's going to be the head kahuna. Think of it as a 64, 40, 45 debit spread. And there's that put fly that we were looking at before, and it's still roughly the same. This looks like it's going to be dead money, unless we slip back under 40. I mean, I could lose 20 cents or something and close it. I'd rather keep it for fun. 7 minutes left. The lot can go on. Let's make this a smaller time frame. And this level, that was the call wall, quote unquote. Those were sold calls. It's just not there anymore. Now we update it, either verbally or we're watching this, on screen share in the chat. But that's why, this can only be based on morning positionings. And on CPI day, like I said, things change a lot when macro considerations come in. Any bets? Come on, let's get some participation. I have a haircut scheduled for today. They're coming to fix the internet tomorrow. 45. Okay, 50. Well, okay, 47. That's what I was going to say. I was going to say an over or under. And 40, 55. Oh my God. How are we going to get through 50? Are they going to chicken out? Go against better sense. I mean, it's kind of looking like that. I don't know what's going on. We really have to watch these last second trades. You're bang on. Why ES 69, not 70? Is there some magic market profile, something going on there? Okay, so we know that those have the most gamma, so you don't really have to see that. What I want to see is how these bars are moving back and forth. Oh, because of 69. Isn't that nice? I mean, take a look, folks. We're not supposed to be able to get through that. Now, of course, when volatility is down, we should not be able to get through it even more. To tell you the truth. These are shorts, but they're. I mean, I can't come up with an excuse for. I'm trying to come up with an excuse for why we're doing what we're doing, other than, okay, here's a good excuse. Um, you see, these short calls are getting bought back. People are buying this. Not surprisingly, people are buying the 45s. So we have a couple at 47, which looks like it's going to be the wiener. So where are we? 45, right? 160K volume here. So you see, this is where the action is. It's been hanging out here all day. 92, so there's not a lot of charm left in the 40s to turn from, well, it's because we're $5 in the money. The 45s, if we stay over that, and however many are there now, those go up to a 1 delta if they're in the money. Conversely, the other way around, when we're below it, that's what pushes us down. And that's really what we have to look at right now. What does the man say? Don't torture the data. It still looks like it should be 40. I have faith that this gamma glob has got a hold. Pencils down. Ooh, they got right above it. Huh. Rare that we close on a market maker long strike like that. Very rare. May you live in interesting times. And so now we have to keep our eyes open for the IC whale. And let's keep our eyes open for the IC whale. In theory, he's supposed to be coming in today. Yeah, good. Nice. I agree. 45. So if the IC whale comes in like he does, and you guys probably know by now, I at least do a test case. He'll probably be 25 as the expected move. That's all. He tends to be a little aggressive on the call side. If he comes in, and let's see what that looks like, he'll probably be doing if he wants to be aggressive, he'll do this. A conservative version, if there's such a thing, well, there is, would be this. I kind of don't mind that really. Oh, wait. Looks like he's coming in. Oh, he does 5 wide and 10 wide. Looks like they're coming in here. Let me look at my spies. Volatility. Somebody. I'm going to go with my own version here. I'll go below the round number. Yeah, that doesn't pay. Okay, we'll go here. No, still not working. Okay, let's look again. So he's at 70. So I'm going to be at 75 on top. Expected move takes us to here. I'm going to be here on bottom. I'm not crazy about that trade though. I'm going to put it in anyway. And it's not filling, so that's that. And I think for the record, there you go. I think for the record that the IC whale is going to come in here. I don't see him on the bottom. Oh, he might be only doing 4,000. If he comes in here, he might come in here. Something like that. Now, he might not come in, but I was just playing with some October VIX trades. My September VIX, I took some profits today. It's still up a little bit. So tomorrow is Wednesday, right? I'll do a couple in here also, just a few. Volatility. Any word from the front on the IC whale? Let me see. Let me. Huh? You can see them on options depth. You can see them. There's a 10-minute delay. But if you just look at the volume, that'll give you a clue. But either way, we know that he sells around the 20 delta. He sells the expected move. That much we do know. Yeah, he does it at the close, like within the last few minutes. And so another way to tell what's going on is if we go perpetual scroll, get rid of this, go to time and sales, and filter for tomorrow. And it doesn't look like he's coming in. Wait, I don't see this. We'd see it coming in after the close, the time and sales. So we'd see a series of big trades at the same number after the close. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong day. I'm looking at today. Duh. That's why. There you go. Okay, so here's what's coming in after the close. The 70s. See? Only little one lots, but he's selling the 70s. Him and his minions. Let's see what's going on the put side just to make it clearer. Looks like the 20 put down in there. I'm sorry, I'm getting like an echo here. Tomorrow could be the 13th of August. It could be, you're right. That somebody said something. Okay, so if we look at volume, and I think he's selling this one. I think this is him here somewhere. I'm willing to, on this one, go a little further, a little wider. What's a 15 wide? 70 cents. I like that. 63.95 below the round number. And on top, he's selling the shit out of this, the 70s. Now, remember we looked before, there was a lot of sold calls. And so, if we do the 8, if I sell the 80, 15 wide, oh, 95 cents. That's uh, 80, 15 wide, 60 cents only. All right, they filled that one. So that's for $1.20. But again, like I said, I think he's here. And we'll see what these. So what I like to do is put it in and not put it in, so we see what the price is. So he did that, and it looked like he did these. He got about $1.60. It looks like that was a trade. So I'm just going to leave this here. And even though it says 155, we'll remember. We'll remember that was 160. We have it on tape, right? Or we can just take a screenshot. If I'm right. I mean, I could be wrong. It has happened. I'll just put the screenshot over here somewhere. Random. Okay. Let's put them in my random section. Someone showing A14 2060. What is it? Did 2K 6350. I think they're throwing the money out. I suppose. Wait a minute, that doesn't look right. 45 cents. I'm going to throw out 45 cents just to see what that does. I know that that's throwing your money away, but let's see. Did they do a fly? You said put debit spread. Sounds like a fly. All right, I'm going to get off here. See you guys, YouTube and Twitter. Like, retweet, repost. Don't repossess my house. 1K 6350. All right. I've noticed that I got a chat here. Wrong day. Yeah. Yeah. It was the wrong day. Now, in the past, I've got actually asked Valsigs about this. I have noticed that you're welcome, Valahutility. How do you pronounce your name? Valahutility. Yeah, tail hedge. And sometimes it's people having to hedge out their Delta, Vega, all that nonsense. And so they're like buying Vega. Somehow that makes a difference. And I'll ask Valsigs about it because I've often wondered about it. You see these big trades of this out of the money stuff that's too out of the money even to be a hedge. So we'll see. Okay, I'm leaving here. Vala Vala Hoot Owl Utility. Vala Utility. Okay, got it. Vala Utility. I hate to mispronounce your name. You're welcome.